If you could only see. Hey guys, it is Carl Brown for GuitarLessons365.com. Got a fun one today. We're going to learn how to play Tonics If You Could Only See, the acoustic version. So they have a full-on acoustic version of this, and that's the one I'm going to be doing here. And that requires a capo on the first fret. Capo, whatever. Wherever you're in the world, that's how you pronounce it. But put it at the first fret. All right, so otherwise it's standard tuning. That's how they play it too, so it's not like a cheat or anything here. This is how they actually do it. So to do it in their key, you got to do it there. So before I get into it, please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and ring the notification bell, of course, please, and just so you'll know when I release a new video. And check out my Guitar Academy. It's at GuitarLessons365.com. It's the GL365 Academy. I'm doing a free trial right now, so you can get a free 1-week trial in it. You can check out all the guitar courses on improvisation, a complete beginner course, technique courses, guitar tone. Man, it's just a bunch of stuff in there. So please go check it out. It'd be great to hear from you there. All right, so let's jump into this. So we already talked about the tuning here. This one, I don't like, you know, it's kind of hard to sing this with the timing of the little fills that are going on in these chords. So I'm gonna maybe not, but so this chorus, this song basically starts with the chorus, right? So we have this kind of thing on. So that starts with just an A minor chord. Now I'm going to call it an A minor chord. It's actually a B flat major chord, but that's just making it complicated. We don't need to do any of that stuff. I'm going to refer to these chords basically in their position compared to the capo there. So this is an A minor chord if you didn't, you know, compare it if the capo was open strings. All right, it's going to make it easier for us. So start with an A minor. And there's a little melody there on the B string. And that's just that regular A minor chord. Then pick up the note on the B string so it becomes an open B. And then back down to the regular A minor. So, alright, then it goes to a C major chord, but he puts the fifth of the chord in the bass. So if you're just used to playing a C major chord like this, which you probably are, take this note right here and move it over to the sixth string. And then replace that note that you just left with the pinky. All right, so this is basically a C major chord, and then you're holding this note 3 frets above the capo. All right, so that's a C major chord with a fifth in the bass. And there's another one of those. So there's another little melodic line in there, and that is the note on the D string. So we have this, you strum it a couple times, then you strum it with the open D. So to just pick up that middle finger, and then hammer back on. So we have this. So we have this. And then it goes to a G chord. So this is kind of like a G power chord because we don't have that B note in there because there's we're muting the A string here. He's freeing up his index finger here because he does another one of those little hammer-ons. So we have the 3rd fret there above the capo on the low E string. Then you're going to mute the A string with the bottom of that middle finger. Then open D, open G, and then the 3rd fret there on the B and the high E. So while he strums this, there's a hammer on the G string to the 2nd fret and then back to the open G. So all together. So every single one of those chords has got some kind of little melodic line going on there. And then this last chord, we're going to play this F, which is 1st fret there above the capo. And basically, it would keep these 2 notes the same that were in the G chord, and the open G and the open D strings, fine. But when you grab this F, make sure you're muting that A string. Then we go back from that to the G. That kind of takes us back around to start over to the A minor. So we have this. At the end of the chorus, just strum that last chord once and just hold it. When she says she loves me. And then we have this transition section, which we're going to have some rhythm guitar, and then we're going to have some guitar fills going on over it. So I call it the transition section because it just kind of takes us back to the verse each time. So we have this. Alright, so I'll show you the guitar fills over that in a second. So we're going to start here with this an A sus2 chord. So open A string, 2nd fret there on the D, 2nd fret on the G, then the open B, and the open high E. Alright, so this. Now from there, we're going to go up here to this, we're going to play this. So 3 frets above the capo, then it's kind of like a power chord shape here. So that's going to be then 6th fret there on the D, 6th fret on the G, and open B and open G, high E. All right, then what we're going to do is take it down to this major chord shape, but we're going to let the top string still ring. So it's 3 frets above the capo here. We have that note there in the low E. And then there, so I'll just call this right there 3 frets above the capo, then 5 frets above the capo on the A string and the D. And then 4 frets above the capo on the G. Now that you might know that as a full bar chord, but we don't have to do the full bar. We're just going to leave the B string and the high E string open. Sounding, and then do the same thing, just move it down 2 frets. We have this. Now over that, we have this. Alright, so that's going to be hammering 5 to 6 on the G string. Since it's a solo here, I'm just going to actually call out the frets that are on your guitar, because that'll be real confusing as we're up here saying, oh, this many frets above the capo. So hammer 5 to 6, and then back down to 5. And then slide 8 to 10, back down to 8. So we have this. And then we have this open G string real quick. then play this 9th fret there on the B, over to 10th fret there on the D, and then back to that 9 on the B string, slide that up to the 11. So we have this. So that goes with that. Second time through, there's just one little note added. It looks like this. So that's basically the same beginning, but then there's a little open G before you go slide to that 10 and then play 8. So that's the only little open G in there is the only difference. All right, then we get to the verse. Sounds like this. So that is going to be power chords here. So this is going to start at 3 frets above the capo. Hit that, slide up 2 frets, and a couple more strums. So you do that like a few times. So about 4 times, just kind of locking in with that groove. You see there's some kind of muted strums between there, so and that second time of doing that slide kind of came in on the upbeat, so we had this. So just kind of make up the space there with some muted strums. So. Then kind of the same thing, but it's just kind of off that F chord down here again, and you're kind of hammering 0 to 1. So you just kind of do it once with. Kind of half the length of the time we did the slides up here, and then that ending chord of the riff. Now we have this is just basically when you took that chord earlier that we played here in the for the chorus, that C chord, G in the bass, take that chord, open strings and all, and just move it up 2 frets. So we have one guy in there playing that full chord like that. And another one is kind of picking through it. Kind of randomly picking through it. So you can kind of do both. Alright, so that's it for the verse there. And then we have this pre-chorus, which looks like this. So that is, it starts with just an hit on that A sus2 chord we did earlier, but then it immediately grabs an A sus4, where we have this. So that's just the note being added here at 3 frets above the capo on the B string. So that open A, 2nd fret on the D, 2nd fret on the G, 3rd fret on the B. Now this note is going to stay throughout all the chords now. So we have this A chord with that on it. Then it switches to a C chord. So we just go to like a C major, right? But the note on the B string is that same 3rd fret still going. Which makes it a C major add 9 chord. And then we're going to take these 2 fingers and move them up a string each to make it just a G major chord. Now the first time you hear the pre-chorus, it's just, he plays through those chords just one time, so it's a little bit shorter than the rest of the time. So we just... back to the G. So it's the same chorus there. So that pre-chorus is, like I said, it's going to be twice as long a little bit later, but it's still the same chorus, just repeated. So we go through the same chorus then after that we did at the beginning of the track, and then same transition chords. And same verse, same pre-chorus like we said before, but then twice as long. So you go through that, when you get to that G chord here, the second time you do the pre-chorus, you then take the root note down to this F. So they're basically playing the first fret there on the low E, A string muted, then open D, open G, third fret there on the B, then back to the G. So it's just that, since it's not as, it's twice as long now, you can have that little transition there. So altogether it's like B. So in the second time through it, you're just gonna hold on that G chord there. That takes you to the chorus here. Now this chorus later on in the song here, really the third time the chorus is played, it ends with an E minor chord because it kind of is transitioning into the solo. So that's just like... So that's just at the end of the song. Is like, if you could see. So that's just ending on this E minor chord, and then it takes us to the solo. So those solo chords transition, the chords underneath the solo are going to be moving that E minor to an E major chord. So it looks like this. So now, so that's just that A minor chord. I'm sorry, E major. Sorry. To that F major, but with the major 9 sharp 11. So you got the open B and the open E strings there. Then to a G chord, just do the version where you have the open B string G. So, and then the A minor. So this is under the solo. Alright, now let me play through the solo for you real quick, and I'll show it to you note for note. Alright, so got some cool stuff in there. So we're gonna start here. Now I'm gonna treat the frets just like call them out by their actual fret numbers here, because you're probably looking at your fret markers here and It's going to be a lot easier when we're doing single note stuff and we're further up the neck to do it that way than call them where they are above the capo. So ignore the capo here. So we're going to have... So it starts with kind of a blues lick here. We have the 8th fret bend on the whole step bend of the G string. And then play 6 on the B, 6 on the high E. Another bend at that 8th fret. Release the bend. Bend again. Pick and release the bend. And then we're going to play the 6 on the G to the 8 on the D a few times. And then back into another bend and release at the 8th fret. And then hit it and slide down. So it just... Alright, from there we have this. So that's kind of a quick slide on up to the 8th fret there on the D. It's real quick. And then play 5, 6, 8, and then play 8 again. And then pick it and kind of quickly slide it down. From there we have this. And that's played 6, 5, and then pick 5, hammer 6, pull off to 5, slide down to 3. So all together. All right, from there we have this. So that's the 8th fret there on the D string, then 6, 8, 6 on the G. And then into another kind of the same lick we did before, bending at the 8th fret, and then do a roll from the 6th fret on the B and to the 6th fret on the high E string. Then you're going to play 9, 6 on the B string, then slide into the 9 to 11 there on the B. Alright, from there we have this. So that's going to be 8, 9, 11, 9, then 8, hammer back on, 9, pull off to 8. Over to 11 on the B string. So we have this all together. Hit that again and slide down, and then we have this. So that's sliding into the 10th fret there on the G, and then roll over to the 10th on the B, then 11, 13. And then shift real quick, shift down to 8, 6 on the G. So you go back and forth between those a couple times. There was some slight bending done on the 8th fret there. And then we're going to end it with this. So that's going to be 6 on the G, 8 on the D. Roll over and grab the double stop there at the 8th fret on the G and the B string. And then the same thing, 6th fret on the G and the B. Back to that 8th fret there on the D. So we have this kind of... And then you're going to end it by going 6, 8 on the D. Alright, so all together. Alrighty, so then that out of that solo there, it goes back into the pre-chorus. So it's the kind of the playing that riff 2 times there, and then back to the chorus ending. The chorus once again is played the same way except a different ending chord. Since it's the end of the song, when it gets to that, it doesn't end on this. When she said, it ends on that F major, 9 sharp 11. So we have this. All right, so that is about it. It's a great song, and it's got some really cool guitar stuff. It's a cool acoustic version of it. So hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll see you again soon for GuitarLessons365.com.